Jai Gurudev students, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome to a new academic session of class 8th. Students, today we will start with history lesson 1, where, when and how. Students, first you all will read the chapter with me, okay? Then I will explain the chapter. Okay? So just be ready with your books, all of you, and we start with a new chapter of history. Okay? So, in this chapter, students, we study about the whole world, that is, how the new culture, new feelings of nationalism, socialism, and how new countries discovered all around the world. Okay, students? So, first we start with the chapter. See, in the last 2 years, you have studied about the ancient and the medieval history of India. Okay, that is in the last two classes, that is in class 6th and 7th, you must have studied about the ancient and medieval history of India. Now, this year, you will be introduced to the modern period of India. When it was started? It was started in the 18th century. So, the modern period differs from one country to another. That is, for example, the modern period in European countries has already started when India was still in medieval age. That is, India was in medieval age, and in European countries they started with the modern age or the modern period. Okay? Now, besides the European colonization of Asian and African countries, including India, there are certain other features of modern age. Now, what we will study, students? We will study about the features of the modern age. That is why we call it as a modern period. Okay? Now, continue the first topic, that is the first feature, that is industrial revolution. See, why we call it as an industrial revolution? Because during that period there was a huge production of goods along with the introduction of factory culture. Okay, so in the 18th century only the culture of factory is being introduced, where European countries needed the raw material, the labor, and the ready market. Okay, which again the reason of colonization. Which means what, students? मतलब 18th सेंचुरी में फैक्ट्री सेटअप की गई है ना, और गुड्स का प्रोडक्शन हुआ, और वो भी ह्यूज अमाउंट में, बहुत बड़े अमाउंट में. ठीक है. उसके बाद सेकेंड फीचर ऑफ मॉडर्नाइजेशन, दैट इज अर्बनाइजेशन. अर्बनाइजेशन मीन्स culture of city. Before 18th century, mainly rural areas are there, but after the introduction of industrial revolution, जब इंडस्ट्रीज आई स्टूडेंट्स तो डेवलपमेंट हुआ, रोड्स बने, प्रॉपर फैसिलिटीज़ आई. सो the culture was divided in two parts, that is rural area and the urban area. Urban area you all must have heard, that is the area of city. ठीक है. तो what happened? Opening of factories opened new job for the people, So the large number of peoples migrated from village to towns. Okay, so what happens? The people were migrated from villages to towns. Okay, after that, what happened? Scientific and technological progress was there. What they did in scientific and technological progress? See, scientific progress means what? That is, they used new scientific techniques, that is, several inventions. This was the time when several inventions took place and made people more aware scientifically. Now, the next feature is nationalism. Now, the feeling of nationalism arises among the people. Nationalism feeling का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? That is, we are emotionally attached to our country. Okay, now the next feature is socialism. With nationalism, there was also the rise of the concept of socialism. That is, a state where the distribution of the wealth was equal and the means of production were owned by the people. That is, the liberty, equality, and fraternity became the slogan for most European countries after the French Revolution. The revolution was happened, and after this revolution, the feeling of liberty, that means we have to be liberal, equality, that means all are equal, fraternity, that is the feeling of brotherhood, spread among the most of the European countries. Okay, students, so today we'll cover only this much of chapter. Read the chapter thoroughly, and for social science you have to maintain one register of 200 pages and one practical copy for geography. Okay, that is like this. You have to maintain a separate copy of geography like this, and a register for the rest of the sections, that is history and civics. Okay, Jai Gurudev.